So we are recording, but what I want to do is just share with you guys a little bit of info about taxes, because I know you guys are pretty new as coaches, but I want to show you as far as taxes go, what you should be writing off, what you should be keeping, and then, give you some tips for writing off taxes too. So just realize that my taxes are going to look a little bit different than yours. And this is from last year. So let me go ahead and just kind of start a few, whoops, that's the wrong plate. That's the wrong PowerPoint. Let me go ahead and start from the beginning. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Oh, you know why? Hold on one second. Okay. Share screen. Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to talk just a little bit about some tax stuff, and you guys can jump in when you want, or we could just talk at the end. But you should get 1099s from Beachbody. Okay, so here is mine and my husband's from last year. Have you guys gotten yours yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I still have not gotten mine yet, so I'll be calling Beachbody tomorrow probably. But if you do not have over $600 in commissions, you won't get one. So it's not sales, it's commissions. But if you have over $600, then you will get one and you will be expected to file it. Okay. So you're going to get a 1099, which basically means you're independent contractor, which means you need to be paying taxes. But there are ways around that, and I'm going to show you kind of how this works. So you start with the 1099 first. So I have both my husband and mine. So you add those together. And then next, if you go into your coach office and you go into customer or personal orders, you can go in and actually export all of your personal orders. So that's what I've done here. So I just took pictures of this. These were actual Excel spreadsheets that I sent to my CPA, but I have my first business center, my second business center, and then Josh's account. And so for the entire year, every single business fee, so that $15.95, every single product that I ordered, every single auto shipment shake, and then I subtotaled it for her. So you can see, like in the first one, my first business center, between shakes and business fees and whatever I ordered was like $1,500. And then same in my second business center, and then same for Josh's account. Okay. So I just sub-tallied all of these for all of my accounts for my accountant. So this is, you can just go into your Coach Online office, look at your customer or your personal orders, and export that report right into Excel. That's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
So you take your household totals. So I added Josh and I's 1099 together, which would have equaled about $33,000. And then my business fees and shakes on all three accounts that I have in my household was about $45.32. Okay, so not a huge write-off, but a good chunk to write off, right? Mm-hmm. So you start there, okay? Then you can break down your expenses. And so I have it all written down, but then I typed it all out as well. And so, hold on a second. So as far as expenses go for your taxes that you can write off. So number one, business travel. So anytime you guys go to, like, even Super Saturday, I know you guys haven't been to Summit yet, but when you go to Summit, you're going to write off, your plane ticket or your gas. You're going to write off your ticket, like your actual Summit ticket that you paid for. You're going to write off the meals that you consume, and I just keep all of those receipts. And that's what I'm going to show you guys next, is kind of how I categorize everything and keep it all too. I went to National Leader Conference. Anytime you take an Uber when you're on an event. So like, say, for example, if you're coming to my house for the retreat, you would still write off that travel. If you have to take an Uber, if you have to fly somewhere, if you have to pay for gas or meals or any of that kind of stuff with business travel, and then the actual ticket that you book for that event too. Okay. I also write off a third of my phone bill. My phone bill is myself, my husband, and my mom. And so my CPA said that the best thing to do is just to write off one third of it, because obviously we use it for personal use as well. So she is taking one third of our total phone bill. So you could go in, like I use Verizon, and you can go in and download your like annual statement. So you have your annual total and then just take a third of that, or maybe a half of that, or maybe a fourth of that. So just depending on who you use for your internet versus your cell phone provider, you can do that as well. And so for internet, she pretty much takes like a third of all of our bills, you know, whether that's my internet, whether that's my phone, or whatever I'm using. All right. Any ads that you run, like I use my Facebook like page, and I ran a bunch of ads last year. And so if you look over on like the chicken scratches to the left, you can see that I did, you know, like $2,000 in Facebook ads. So write that off. I did have a certification through Beachbody, like to teach the PIO live classes. So anything that I used for my certification. So like if I took a CPR class, if I had to do CEUs, any of that kind of stuff, I wrote off. Every time you sign up for a training, whether that's with like, you know, Josh Coates, someone I would use for an example. I know like Aaliyah's doing Rachel Hollis, so that's considered a business write-off. Also, any of the PD books, I write off all my PD books. So I basically, at the end of the year, tally up all of my Amazon purchases that are not personal, obviously, or gifts. So that for me is coach gifts. That is also personal development books. I also go through my PayPal and tally that up as well, because a lot of times when my PayPal is going toward trainings like the Rank in the Bank and things like that. So I tally up, what am I using my PayPal for? What am I using my Amazon for? And if it's anything business related, if it's a book, if it's a training, I'm going to write it off. Okay. Any new equipment that you buy. So say, for example, you buy a laptop to work your computer. I know Laura just bought a new laptop. Any type of equipment for your phone. Like you guys, seriously, I wrote off my Lumi case, you know, like the light up selfie Lumi case. Just anything silly like that. Again, your internet, your office supplies. I mean, you could get tit for tat on a lot of that stuff, but I just make sure that, like, for example, if I need to go buy like notebooks or like the bubble envelopes, I make sure to keep those in a separate order. So I'm not like going to the dollar store and buying a ton of candy and a ton of bubble wrap envelopes. I usually just do a separate transaction. So it's just for business. Okay. I carry liability insurance only because I'm a group fitness instructor. So I write that off because it's part of Beachbody. It's part of my certification. If you do have a declared office space in your home, you can write that off. But if you look at my chicken scratches here, you basically take your office square footage, which mine is 144 square feet, and you take it off the percentage of your house. So my house is 3,400 square feet. So that's only 4% of my home. So you take basically 4% of your monthly mortgage. All right. But we were only in this house for 6 months last year. So I could only write off $84 a month, which for 6 months was like $505. I did ask about, you know, I have a dedicated workout space as well. And since we are fitness coaches, can we write off the like fitness area that we use? And my CPA said, not if I'm writing off an office. She said, because you have to be super careful about, you know, that room could be used for other things. Other people in your family are using it. You're not exclusively conducting business in that room. And so they would see it more for like personal use. So I just chose to write off my office space because mine is an office. Where I am now is my office, you know. And then you also want to make sure you're saving all of your receipts from any postage. So anytime we do giveaways or things like that, save all of your postage receipts. Anytime you have to pay for shipping, I even write off, like I said, my bubble envelopes, anything that I buy, stamps, all of that I write off. And then lastly, meals, client meetings, coach gifts. And so if I go meet a potential customer, for example, at Starbucks, I'll save that receipt and I'll use it as a write-off. And, like I have a lot of my, like friends and neighbors who are discount coaches. And if I go meet them for lunch or coffee, as long as they are a customer or coach of mine, I don't feel like I'm cheating the system or anything if I'm just writing off a coffee or something like that. Now, obviously, if it's like girls' night out and my friends are not even my customers or coaches, I'm not going to write that off. But I do meet a lot of my friends or potential customers or potential clients out for coffee, and I'll just save that receipt and throw that in as well, because it is part of conducting business. So just making sure that you are saving every single receipt. I know a lot of people have asked about clothes and shoes and things like that. And my CPA was super hesitant about clothing and shoes, again, because it could be deemed for personal use. So I chose not to write off clothes and shoes. But again, anything I purchased through Beachbody, I did write off. So if I were buying tank tops, like Transform 20 tank tops, for example, I would write that off because I'm actually purchasing it through Beachbody. All right. But I didn't write off like random workout clothes from Amazon. So I was able to get another $9,800 in total expenses, and then that $4,532 for my business fees and shakes. So I ended up having like $14,000 in write-offs, which was 58% of my income. And so the way the federal government kind of looks at things is, 30% of your income needs to go to the government. So 30% of that $3,300, which would be like $9,900, should be going to the government. So we have to think of other ways to offset that, so I don't have to pay $9,900 at the end of the year, right? And so a couple of tips that have helped us and my family. My husband ups his federal withholding. So Florida has really weird tax laws. Like we don't pay state income taxes here. We only pay federal taxes. And so he upped his federal by like 5%, 6%, and that kind of offsets our 1099s for Beachbody. Also, you can open up an interest-bearing savings account. Like we use Ally, and they have like 1% to 2% interest. And so if you are being conscious of putting 30% of each paycheck, and I don't do it every week, but I'll do it at the end of a month. I'll look at, okay, say I made $1,000 this month. Well, have I saved 300 of it? And I don't necessarily save 30% because my husband has upped his federal withholdings, and we kind of looked at that figure and what it would be. And so I kind of know based off this year how much I should be saving. But that's just an idea. You can pay quarterly taxes, but again, like I do a lot of like Dave Ramsey type mindset stuff, and like I'm going to work with the money I have now, and I have no way of knowing how much I'm going to earn. This is a business where we're paid based on our effort and our work. And so I don't pay quarterly taxes. Once your business gets to a certain point and you're earning a very significant income, like over six figures, then yeah, you probably want to start doing that. But I'm saving every receipt, every purchase. You could also, like I have a credit card that I only use for Beachbody. So every time I travel, I use that specific credit card. Anytime I buy something, whether it's lunch out, coffee out, something at the, paying for postage, paying for those envelopes, I only use this one certain credit card for all my Beachbody expenses. So it's super easy just to log in and see, what kind of purchases I've had. And then I also have that credit card as my card for Josh and I's business fees and our shakes. So kind of everything runs through that one credit card, and then I just pay it every month. And then also there's an app called Neat, and you guys may already use something similar for your taxes. But it's just super easy to scan in your receipts and put everything in there. And I'm going to try to move more digital now and use an actual app, because this paperwork, you guys, gets super tedious. So before I go to Q&A, I just want to show you guys some of this too. So I already showed you guys kind of like what that little Excel spreadsheet looked like. And when I gave it to my accountant, I also gave her all of my Beachbody. You can see this, right? All of my invoices from my shakes. So that was my husband's account. This is Lisa's account and all of my invoices from any purchase that I've had. Like I saved my liability insurance receipt. Here we bought a new router for the house, so I have that receipt here. Here's a training I did with Shailene Johnson, so I printed it out. There's the receipt. Here's my CPR certification. Have the receipt. Here's my group fitness instructor receipt. You can go onto Facebook, look at your advertising, if you are paying for ads. And then again, you can go onto Verizon and you can download all of your bills for the entire year. And then I just gave this to my accountant and divided it by 3. And then what I did was I took each trip and put the receipts that went with each trip all in a row. So this, for example, was one of my trips to, I don't even know, but it's like airport parking, it's lunch, it's breakfast, it's dinner, and it's $400 that I paid for something. Oh, this is when we went on the Success Club trip. All right. And then again, another trip here. So there's flights, there's gas, there's food, there's Uber receipts. And so I just separate mine by trip so that if we were ever audited, I have everything in one nice, neat little pile, right? So again, this was, what was this? New leader conference, airport parking, hotel, flight, food. Trying to see if there's anything different in here that would, oh, and then I also grouped together like meals for coach meetups. So those are all meals and coffees that I paid for. Coach gifts, any gift that I purchased through Amazon or Target, all there. And then all of my receipts from the post office for everything that I mailed is all looped together. And office supplies, just stuff that I needed from like Target or Walmart or whatever. So I keep mine all in these like one of those little kind of envelope holders, but I keep them all stacked together nice and neat. I mean, it's a paperwork nightmare, but I don't know. I just want to make sure that I have all of my backup documentation in case we are ever audited, So questions. What do you guys have questions about?
Well, we've always done this. When I was a health educator, I did all my mileage. I mean, anything that I purchased, we kept track of all that too, just like you do. I mean, everything you held up looks exactly like what we do. But when I switched to my new job, I obviously don't have as many expenses. We still have farm expenses and stuff like that. But our accountant told us that this last year, so starting this year, they raised something. Oh, no, I don't remember what they said. They raised something. So he told us that anything that we were deducting, I mean, me personally right now, you obviously deduct a lot more than I do currently, but he told us that it wasn't even worth keeping track of because we wouldn't meet that, whatever that number was.
The itemization.
It's just raised.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah. It's really high too. It's like 25.
For independent contractors, you mean?
I think so. I don't remember exactly.
And so I know some new laws were passed too. So obviously it's going to be different. Obviously state laws are different.
Right.
But just depending on federal, how much you're earning versus how much you're writing off. Like the first 2 years of my business, I basically was spending more than I was making, and that's pretty common. So I would still keep everything and just give it to your accountant anyway, just because, like the more you can show you want to show a loss, honestly, for the first few years. So I would still track and save everything,
Now, my husband didn't get a 1099 because I didn't make $600 on his account.
Right.
So for for taxes, when we go this year, I wouldn't deduct anything from like his business fees, right? It would only be for mine since I make more than 600.
So that's where it gets a little tricky, and it depends on your CPA.
Yeah.
Because technically, if you're filing joint taxes, it gets hairy, but since you're filing joint taxes together, you can still show that as an expense through your account because he is a coach in your organization. It just gets hairy, but I think what I did in the first year is I still printed out Josh's like cumulative sales just to have as backup, just to show that like he does have a business.
Right.
Even though I didn't get the 1099, I wanted to make sure that if we were audited, like he was a legitimate coach working a business,
Okay.
But and a lot of this stuff varies from CPA to CPA too, what they're willing to write off versus what they're not.
Ours is pretty lenient, but I'll just print it off and take it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still expenses you're incurring with your business because,
right.
You and your husband are working this business together. And then, something you can even look at in the future is, do you want to incorporate or do you want to like put your business in an LLC, which is something that Alyssa has done. And obviously that's more for people who are making 6 and 7 figures with this business, but that way you can put everybody under the same umbrella, so you can put your husband, yourself, your second business center, your mom's account, whoever. It all flows through the LLC. So all business expenses come through one account basically.
Okay.
But my accountant advised not to do that. Even for me, she's like, we'll look at it again next year. She's like, but until you're making like 6 figures, it's not necessary.
Okay.
But I would still take Ryan's stuff and just say, obviously these are because you've had him on Shakeology since you've been a coach and you've paid business fees. So, I mean, that's gotta be what, $600-700 in write-offs?
Right.
So,
okay.
We'll
do that. Thank you.
Yeah. What else? Anything? It's so hairy, and honestly, a lot of it just comes down to your state tax laws and what your accountant is willing. I mean, I know some girls who write off like every pair of leggings they buy, I'm like, well, I'm glad that works for you, but I don't feel good about that.
No, yeah, I don't either.
I know this wasn't super exciting or like motivating to help you work your business, but it's necessary sometimes to talk about the stuff nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
What else? Kim, Katie, do you guys have questions about anything as far as taxes go or just anything?
I don't think so. I don't think I made, since I started mid-November, I don't think I made enough in 2018. But I think that I'm going to try. I know I told my Team Cup team that I got my dad to buy a challenge pack, and I'm hoping, I talked to him about the coaching thing, and he's like, well, let me try it. I'll try the products first, and then if I like them, then I'll just pay the $40 later to become a coach. I was like, okay. So once I'm sure I'll have questions next year once I have that situation. But for this year, I don't think I have anything.
Yeah. And if you have a parent, like my mom's retired and she gets a pension because she's a retired teacher. And so like I can't earn a lot on her account. So I have to be very careful about what income comes through her account. So typically those are the people that I'm converting from customer to coach. So there's not an actual transaction, It's usually just when they want to transfer from customer to coach, and then the volume just moves over. So I'll put a couple sales a month through her, but nothing, like I think her cap is like $6,000 or $7,000, since she's retired. So if you have anybody in that situation, that's just my recommendation. Just maybe 2 to 3 sales max per month, but everything else is just like a customer coach conversion.
That makes sense.
There was something else I was going to say in regards to that, and now I don't remember. Rats. I can't remember. But yeah, if you are like, so I do have my mom's account too. And so I do save some of the receipts for her account. Again, I'm not earning a lot. I still keep orders coming through her account and still pay her business service fees. And usually with that and just a couple of my random receipts that I throw on her account, it's enough to show a total loss on hers, you know? So I try to keep most of my earnings through my account. So that way it's mostly a loss on everything else. If that makes sense. Get that meal prep done, girl.
I'm trying. Multitasking.
Yes. Anything else? Not tax related. Kim, how are you doing, girl?
I'm good. I guess I'll start saving my receipts.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, just save them, you know, even if you're like going to Super Saturday and you have to go to the gas station and fill up, you know, and then that's one thing too, is some accountants prefer to use mileage. Some prefer to use like gas. I mean, I don't drive a lot to events for Beachbody, but, you know, save that.
Yeah,
All of it.
will do.
Even a bag of Cheetos and Diet Coke that you get at that gas station for your road trip. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it'll just chat with your accountant and see if they have suggestions too. And then, you know, make sure you know a little bit about your state laws. Those are always where the hiccups are. Okay, guys. So let's talk about next week. Do you guys want a guest speaker, like someone who's a newer coach who is like rocking it? Do we have a topic we want to talk about? What do you guys think? Do one of you want to talk?
No thanks.
I want to make sure you guys are getting the value you need. I mean, I know it's Monday night and everybody's tired, and I want to make sure you guys are getting, you know, what you need out of the team call. So if I can get a speaker on that will help you.
I mean, the speaker you had last week motivated me. She was a little intense and
Oh yes.
yeah. But I still liked that intensity.
Yeah.
Somebody like that maybe.
I was going to try to find somebody who is a newer coach that is maybe like a diamond or has gone diamond, you know, in the last 6 months or so, but, you know, that has a system for working with a full-time job too. So kind of the same thing, but not someone who's been a coach for 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
I think that
I
would
like
be
listening to speakers. It's motivating,
okay. Good.
inspiring.
Yeah, and I think it's good for you guys too, because you guys can hear me talk all day long until I'm blue in the face and you're like, oh my God, she's still talking about this. You know, but like when you hear it from somebody else, it's always reassuring to be like, oh, well, she did it too, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just me talking out both sides of my ears here. But okay, so I'll try to line somebody up really good for next week. And then I really like doing the live power hours the last week of the month. Is that okay?
Yes. I like those two.
Okay, so that's the 25th-ish.
Well, I do have a quick question. This what is it? The Team Cup thing ends on the 20th, right?
So Team Cup is all month long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're just kind of working for prizes all month long, and they're giving you points. And they should be sending reports, like updates, but I saw a note in the back office that they're not updated. So yeah, you're just kind of working with your specific team all month long to get points, and then you get prizes based on the points that you get.
Okay. I was hoping it was to the end of the month. For some reason, I was thinking it was just the 20th. And
It's
I don't know.
all,
I feel like the last week of February is going to be good for some reason. I
yeah,
feel like people are going to be, a lot of parents are going to be getting tax checks, and that's my hope,
yeah.
wanting to invest in their health. And
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just going to try to use this flash sale as leverage for the next like week. Even, even all the people who are in it, and if they don't by Thursday or Friday, getting back in touch with them on Saturday and Sunday and just saying, hey, just so you know, I'll still offer you the gift card. The gifts or the giveaways are gone, but if you're still interested and want to purchase by this weekend, then I'll still honor that gift card or something
Yeah.
like that, just depending on how it goes. So you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just going to throw some giveaways in the actual flash sale just to like keep it exciting for a couple of days.
okay.
And that's the biggest thing about flash sales is you just really hype them up and you just really talk about like, who knows? Energize may sell out. Pumpkin Spice did in 12 hours.
Crazy.
Wow.
So you never know. They never know how much to.
Energize is a lot better than pumpkin spice, in my opinion.
Agreed. Totally agree.
I wish I still had some pumpkin spice. I drank mine like every day and then it was gone. So yeah, just hype the, I can't even talk. Hype the flash sale. And then once that flash sale's over, I'm going to really start talking about Transform 20 round 2, because I have a good bit of girls who want to do that. But you have to do what works for you too. If you guys are having more success with like the 21-day groups and the self-love challenge type thing, then you've got to just kind of work that as well,
Yeah.
And then just so you guys know, they will be, so my plan is like the first week of April, they're refilming all of the 21-day fix and all of the 21-day fix extreme workouts in real time. So they're going to be doing some like test groups with Autumn in April, just so you guys know. So if you do another round of Transform 20, it will lead right into that, or just do whatever you want until the first week of April.
Okay.
So that's coming,
I
just so you know.
like it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's not your jam, then don't commit, like whatever's working for you, go with it, Have you guys had good success getting people just started with like 21-day programs or just all access challenge packs?
I sold a few Transform 20 packs, and those that I sold to started and then they were on the back burner. Like I content, even with Bonfire. So backed off on Transform 20 a little bit just because you have a couple girls who are into it. Most people they start with go back to Transform 20. So they say.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, Courtney.
I know. It's because I live in the boonies.
Oh, yes. Well, you just do what works best. Like I'm gonna still kind of promote both, and like I'm still gonna keep the Transform 20 group open and talk about it and share my results and bring people into that. But then maybe we can turn over that self-love group into something fun for the month of March, like kind of have just like a theme, that group be like a rolling 21-day group, or having a theme every month too. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting a lot of people who are beginners,
Right. Me too.
and so they're not going to just jump right into Transform 20.
I think it's hard.
Oh yeah, I do too. I mean, I struggle every day.
Me too.
I think it's hard, but I freaking love it. Like, seriously, I love it more than any other program.
Yeah, and I kind of feel the same way, Kim. I love that it's only 20 minutes, but it's hard and it's challenging. So if and people are going to feed off your energy. And that's like, I'm training with Josh Coates right now, and he just keeps talking about that. He's like, whatever energy you're putting out about the program you're doing or the workouts you're doing or the meal plan you're following, he's like, people feed off that. And if they see you, getting results and talking about it and sharing it and getting excited about it, then they're going to want to be a part of that. They could care less what you're actually selling. As long as you're bringing like the intensity and the energy, that's what brings people in,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think, Courtney, I think you were saying that some people just thought it ended up being too challenging for them. And I was just talking, I haven't had that yet, but I was talking to someone tonight about, she hasn't worked out in a long time, but she's interested, like she can only do 20 minutes because she's in nursing school and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you think I can do it? And I shared the Today Show story with her from this morning. And I don't know if you guys have watched that, but the 3 people that are doing it are not people that are in shape. They are like, I don't know, they all look like they're middle-aged and they all have a little bit of weight to lose. So I think that made her feel a little bit better about it. I mean, I haven't watched the modifier videos at all to see what the modifier is like, but I don't know. I feel like that made her feel like she could do it if those people in the Today Show thing could do it.
Where did you find that clip?
I just Googled it. I actually posted it on Facebook earlier this evening, but I just Googled it,
Yeah. I think that's good to know. And then we have like the Ultimate Portion Fix is going to be launching as well, like first week of March. So we have new things that are coming out, but again, just working with what you know and what's working for you. But using the tools in your tool belt, you know, I mean, I try to think about it as like customizing it for each person that I'm talking to.
Right.
You know, it's just going to depend for each person. Their fitness level is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be a lot of people that just want to do the newest thing. And so they don't even care. Like they don't even look at the preview. They're just like, oh yeah, sign me up for that. And then they get it and they're like, oh no, this is terrible. You know?
You know, something else, Katie, I was thinking about this. You know, your dad said he'd go back and pay the $40 or whatever later if he likes the products. I had 2 girls in January who purchased and they both refused to do a coach discount, which I've only had a couple of those, so I'm like, okay. And before their 30 months was up, I went back and said, so how are we liking these? What do you think? You have like a day to get that before the 30 days is up for free. And they both signed up.
27.
I think checking back in too in their first 30 days might help get some people to convert to a coach as well. I don't know.
Yep. And I even send, like, I just try to hype it up. I'm like, so are you interested in, just so you know, you are eligible to upgrade to our VIP program and save 25% on your future orders. Are you interested in that? And they're like, oh yeah, what is that? Tell me about it, you know?
Yeah.
You say save 25%?
Yeah, like if you have a customer, someone who signs up with you just as a customer. So before their auto ship kicks in at full price, what I will say is, hey girl, it's been about 3 weeks since you've ordered and I just wanted to touch base with you to see if you were interested in upgrading to our VIP program so you can start saving 25%. Are you interested in hearing about it? And then they're usually like, well, yeah, tell me about it. And then I do a lot of voice memos, guys, and I just say, you know, basically you can still get my same discount. You don't have to actually coach. There is a fee that you would have to pay, but you're still saving $30 overall on your Shakeology.
So they can do it. They can convert to a coach for free within the first 30 days. Is that what I just
Well, they pay the $40, but there is a reimbursement form.
I'm with you. Okay.
Oh, but they only get it reimbursed if it's in the first 30 days?
Oh, no. They can fill out that reimbursement form forever. But what I'm saying is I'm messaging them before their 30 days because if not, they're going to pay full price for their Shakeology as a customer.
Okay.
You know, and so before that auto ship kicks in, I want to say, you know, and before they even get a chance to say, I want to cancel it, I want to let them know that they can get a discount and not have to work the business, you know?
Okay.
And it seems to
not get any of my customers to sign up as a coach.
No.
I need to just do the share a cart first thing, I think. But then I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll send you guys, like, I have a little script that I use. And most people are just like, well, yeah, That seems like a no-brainer. I'll just do
I
that.
know. I'm like, I go on and on. I'm like, I promise you, all you're getting is the discount. Like, you do not have to do anything, you know. They all think I'm just like scheming, I guess. I don't know.
No.
I think I'm not good at explaining it yet. I feel like I stumble over my words and then it sounds like it's like I'm trying to convince them of something that's like shady, and like,
Yeah.
I swear it's a good deal. I think that that's been one of my things, is that I usually mention the coach thing like on their very first order, and a lot of my people have never tried anything Beachbody before, so they're like, well, I don't even know if I like the product, so why would I want a discount? Like, I don't even, like, I might be done with this in 30 days. And so I think that puts them off, but I need to do that and try again after they've had a chance to try the product.
I always tell them too, you know, you purchase this, sign up for the discount. If you don't want to, just cancel it. I mean, if you're going to cancel the Shakeology anyway, you might as well just cancel the coach at the same time. It's not that big of a deal. It's easier to sign up now than it is later.
Yeah.
And something else, it's easier to cancel a coach account.
Yeah.
You can just fill out the form and cancel your Shakeology and your coach account. It's so much easier to do that than to be a customer and try to cancel your Shakeology and either get on the phone or wait for a live chat agent.
Right.
Okay.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I suggest that for that reason as well.
That's good to know. Have you guys had any pushback on the having to put in for the people that are just interested in the discount, having to put in your social security number?
No. Usually once I have them all sold and they're signing up, I send them their share cart and then I say, oh, by the way, just so you know, they will ask for your social security number, but it's only for tax purposes if you were to sell, and otherwise it's basically just useless information. So it's not that they're going to use it. And most people are like, oh, okay, like that doesn't faze them at that point because they've already committed.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I say the same thing. I say, it's just because you're basically signing up to get the discount, so you're considered an independent consultant or distributor, and unless you were to sell something, then it doesn't really matter. But in the event that maybe you inspire a couple people along the way and want to sign some people up, you are already set up and good to go.
Exactly.
And you guys, a lot of the times I leave the most sarcastic messages to people, but I'm half kidding, half telling the truth. And I'll say that. I'll be like, oh, but if you do want to coach one day and be a rock star coach on our team, I'd love to have you. Or just be silly. And they're like, haha, no, but okay, yeah, I'll sign up this way. I think it's just in how you present it. But I just put that little script in our Elite Empire thread, just kind of what I say. Like when I'm closing the deal before I send a link, I just send that little blurb and like, oh, by the way, something else we can do is, and then I just see whether they want to sign up as a customer or coach and then do the share cart then.
Okay.
But I usually always push coach sign up from the beginning just because it's easier to cancel, and I'm usually building for rank,
Me too.
All right, lady loves, anything else on your mind tonight?
Nope.
No? Good?
Good.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to stop recording.